welcome to Madeleine at the Movies, the Golden Days film review segment, designed to make you feel a little more informed when it comes to choosing what to watch next. I'm Madeleine Swain. The President's Cake is about as timely a film as you could get. Set during the Gulf War, while the US is conducting bombing raids over Iraq and Saddam Hussein is still ruling the country with a rod of iron, the film, written and directed by Hassan Hadi, focuses on young Lamia, played by Banin Ahmed Nayev. At 9 years old, she lives in a hut that is little more than a covered raft in the Mesopotamian marshes with her aging grandmother, whom she addresses by the affectionate term of endearment Bibi. Now, despite Bibi's instructions to try and get out of the classroom lottery, Lamia is unable to dodge adding her name to the draw and hears her name read out as the supposedly lucky pupil responsible for making a cake to celebrate the president's birthday. Another classmate, Saeed, equally impoverished and ridiculed for being the son of a lame beggar, is also unlucky enough to get picked. He must bring the fruit. Their teacher warns that failing to complete these tasks will lead to punishment and refers to a previous child whose family was subjected to an horrific response from the authorities for coming up short. The film then follows Lamia and Saeed as they visit the city and attempt to obtain the required ingredients, with little to no money and unscrupulous adults everywhere around ready to thwart them. In the great tradition of neo-realist or French New Wave films like Bicycle Thieves or The 400 Blows back in the day, and more recently Children of Heaven, and particularly the brilliant Capernaum, The President's Cake is focused on the most innocent victims of poverty and war, the children. It's no coincidence that currently Capernaum and The President's Cake share the same high score of 8.4 on the Internet Movie Database. Lamia's quest, accompanied by the one thing she loves and cares for, apart from Bibi, her rooster Hindi, takes her into dangerous and challenging situations so that her resourcefulness, resolve, and intuition are tested time and time again. In that, just like Zayn al-Rafia in Capernaum, Nayev's performance is utterly without artifice, sentimentality, or exaggeration. Superbly cast, hers is a face and especially eyes that tells a poignant and pointed story. Outside of the microworld of Lamia and Saeed, however, Hadi's film is an extraordinarily prescient reminder of what, or more importantly, who, is on the ground when the Americans start bombing Gulf countries from the skies. The parallels with the current situation are astounding. Two countries attacked by the self-appointed World Police Force nearly 40 years apart. Of course, both Iraq and Iran have or have had corrupt and murderous regimes, making a complex situation even more complicated and fraught. But the final scene of The President's Cake, with its ambiguous fade to black and refusal to spell out Lamia and Saeed's fates, means that the film's power and message will resonate and stay with viewers long after they leave the cinema. The President's Cake is rated M, runs for 102 minutes, and opens in selected cinemas on Thursday, the 2nd of April. And now to another play on film, the latest in the National Theatre live season. It's a version of Shakespeare's Othello, straight from the Theatre Royal Haymarket in London, directed by Tom Morris and starring David Harewood in the title role, alongside Caitlin Fitzgerald as Desdemona and Toby Jones as that most villainous of villains, Iago. It's a very spare production, set and costume-wise, which means the focus is entirely on the text and the performances. And I have to say from the start, that was not necessarily a good thing. I mean, the Haymarket isn't that big a theatre, seating around 870 or so, but the whole cast start the show proclaiming to the rafters. It really is a very shouty production, so much so that it feels like everyone is overacting like mad. But then, as they settle into the story, it actually improves enormously and distinguishes itself by actually being an exemplary commitment to the clarity of the text. Even those unfamiliar with the narrative of Othello, which of course is a general convinced by his duplicitous offsider that his wife has been unfaithful to him and so takes fatal and murderous revenge, I think even those people that don't know that will find it very, very easy to follow both the plot and every individual section of dialogue. The performances are all bold and strong, with particularly good work from Luke Treadaway as Cassio and Vinette Robinson as Amelia. Her fabulous work in that final scene is a real standout, I think. Othello is exempt from rating. I think it comes under that educational banner as well. runs for 172 minutes, and is now showing at selected cinemas, including Cinema Nova in Carlton and the Sun Theatre in Yarraville. And that's all from me for this time. Madeleine at the Movies was produced and edited by Blair Purvis. Stay safe and well, and thanks for listening.